Hello everyone, very good evening to all. Guys, am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
Okay, good. Hello everyone, very good evening to all. Guys, am I audible? Just hold on. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Great. Chalo, so let's start our session without any further delay. So I hope you guys have done recap, right? And now, Nashad, especially from you, you make a note about the tunnels, control connections, VPNs. Did you make a note, Nashad?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. What about others? Saket, Raja, Anurag? Where are the rest of the people? Let me
Yes,
see.
I am
I'm
also
here.
making my notes. Thank you.
Good. I really like you guys are making a note. That's really a good thing. Okay, so let's start, right? So last week we were doing the very basic configuration for the controller point of view, right? So I just did the GUI access of this controller, that is a vManage, but after that we stop the class and we have to continue from there. So we have to configure remaining rest of the controllers, right? Means vBond, vSmart, we also have to do the configuration for the root CA. And after that, we have to do the certifications. So step by step, whatever I'm going to do that, please make a note. So I'm in this PC. So very first thing, I will go in the browser. Again, I will try to log in my vManage so that I have the access of my manager. Okay, that is a vManage. So I'll go here and I'll just try to log in. And here, if I'm going, see, I'm the vManage, right? So right now in this vManage, we do not have any controller, that is the smart. We do not have any edge. We do not have any kind of the vBond as well. So we have to onboard them step by step. So the number is going to become 0 to 1, right? Or might be the 2. It's totally depend. If you're going to use the HA, then you have to use the pair of the devices. And even the vManage itself is invalid. So we have to make sure to make them valid. So how it is going to happen? Let us start. So first thing, I need to perform the interconnectivity between the controllers. So as I mentioned, like this is my controllers. Let me use some different color. So this is my controllers interfaces, and controller is this, and this. This is the root CA. But I'm taking a name as a controller. So they are going to stay in the same subnet, means the same broadcast domain, right? So what I have to do that, because they are in the data centers. So I'm going to use one of the switch, and that switch is going to create one of the SBI, that is the VLAN 123, and I'll assign the IP address, and I'll put those all interfaces which are connected to the controllers as a access port, and I'll assign the VLAN, that is 123. And after that, I will go on the per controllers. On this interface, I'll configure this IP address. On this interface, I'll configure this. This interface configure this. This interface I'll configure this. But now I have the questions. If I want to configure these interfaces, which VPN shall I use? VPN 512, VPN 0, or service VPN? That is 12511 or 5132.65527. Which VPN is going to be used for this connectivity? Anyone? Any idea?
VPN 0.
Sir, VPN
VPN
0
0.
only.
It's VPN 0. Why VPN 0? Because they are facing toward the ISP. So anyhow, my ISP connectivity is going to be terminated from this switch for MPLS and internet. So these are going to face to the rest of the world, and these are the data centers. So I need to configure under the VPN 0 so that I can build the connectivity toward the branch locations. So that's why I need to build in the VPN 0. So let me just first go in the switch and let me configure the VLAN. So I'll go on the switch very first, and I'll just change the host name, and I'll just make it a DC switch, and I'll create one of the VLAN, that is the VLAN 123, and name I'll put as a controller VLAN. So this is the name, right? I'll exit, and then after I'll create one of the VLAN 123, and I'll assign the IP address 123.10.10.1 255 255 255.0, right? Sorry, I just put one octet extra, and I'll just put no shut. So now this is done. So what I have done, let me just show IP interface brief. So I just created one of the VLAN, that is 123, but this VLAN is showing down. Why it is down? Because there is no port assigned under this VLAN. So what port I need to assign? I need to assign gig 0, 1, 2, 3. So they are in the same sequence range. So I'll use the range command, and I'll assign these all port in the same VLAN. So I'll use the command interface range gig 0 by 0 to 3, and I'll put switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 123, and I'll just put no shut. Okay, I'll put do write. The very simple thing I have done here. Okay, so probably after this, you will see my VLAN is going to be come up after some time. So let me go here, and if I just run do show IP interface brief, still your VLAN is down, but it is going to be come up. Just wait for a while. See, so your VLAN is come up. So you just have to make sure your VLAN should be up. So now it's up, so it is a good condition. So just I created my VLAN, and you can see this individual port configuration. If you just want to verify, this is the port 0 by 0, 0 by 1, 0 by 2, and 0 by 3. So I just make the configuration in one go for the all ports. So I just write the configuration. What next? The very next step, I have to go on my manage, that is vmanage or vwarn, or might be the root C, and I have to do the remaining configuration. So let me go first vmanage. Again, the password is same, and you just run the show run command. You are going to find there is a VPN 0, and this is the interface. Although when you just go and do the configuration, we have the proper lab guides, which you all are going to get. And under the lab guide, every steps is written how to proceed with the configuration. So let's suppose I'm going to do the vmanage configuration. So I'll just open the vmanage lab guide. Let me open it. Make copy. Paste it here. So see here. So first, do not do the system configuration. Very important. This is need to be done at the last stage. Why I'm saying like that? There is a special reason behind it. So you just first configure the interface, and this is my interface configuration. So this configuration I have to do on the vmanage. So simply what I have to do that, I will go in my configuration. Under the VPN 0, I will go on the interface. And what is the interface? That is the ETH 0. Very first thing, I will assign the IP address. What is IP address? 123.10.10.10/24. You can just refer the IP. It is already assigned here. This is the IP address. So I just go and configure the IP address. Put the no shut. Now, because this is my VPN interface, this interface need to build the tunnels, right? So now I would like to ask the questions from audience. This my VPN 0 and this is for the vManage. So this is my vManage and this is my VPN 0 interface ATH 0. So which type of tunnel it is going to build? Can someone tell me? If this vManage want to build a tunnel, which type tunnel it is going to build? Anyone? Which type of tunnel this vManage under VPN 0 is going to build? What all possible tunnel it is going to create?
So
DTLS,
DTLS and
TLS.
Why too much silence? It's very straightforward, right? TLS and DTLS. Any other tunnel it is going to create or only TLS and DTLS?
Sir, only TLS and DTLS.
Yes, only TLS and DTLS. Right? It's a vManage, right? So vManage only one option. It is going to build any devices. Either the vManage is going to build tunnel with the vEdge, vBond, vSmart. Only the possibility is TLS or DTLS. Make sense? So that's why when we have the option to create a tunnel, so we have to tell VPN 0 interfaces, that is my tunnel interface. You can say there is a tunnel interface, right? So if you're not going to run this command, tunnel is not going to create it. vManage is not going to initiate a tunnel on that particular interface. So we will run the tunnel interface and there is a command allow services all. So let me first run this one and I'll explain what is the allow services. This tunnel interface will allow to bring a TLS and DTLS. If this is the VS devices, then how possible tunnel can be created? If this is the VS devices, then how many possible tunnel we can create on the VS?
IPsec tunnel,
IPsec and other
TLS and
DTLS.
GRE.
Okay, GRE. What else? OMP also, right?
OMP.
What else? BFD also, right?
BF.
This all possible, na? On the VS. Make sense? So this BDFD under the IPsec, right? OMP under the TLS and DTLS. But these are going to build the protocols under the one tunnel so they can exchange the routings. So right now I will just go here and I'll just run a command allow services. Allow services. So you have a lot of services like DSCP services, DNS services, HTTP services, ICMP services, netconf services, SSH services, stun services. So if you're going to run a command allow services all, means any layer 4 services they want to communicate with my vManage, that is going to be by default allow. If you're not going to allow all services, then you have to manually, whenever you need any services accessibility from that vManage from this interface, you have to allow manually. So instead of going to do manual, I'll just put command all and I'll make a, like if you want to run the configuration, show configuration, what configuration I have make changes. So this configuration you have make changes here. See, so you just make a commit. Done. Now, if I want to ping from here, my core switch IP address should be reachable. So this is my very first thing I have done for my vManage. So now vManage and core switch have the reachability. Now moving the next to my vBond router, that is another device. Now here is one catch. If you want to go and do the configuration for the vBond, there is no separate device for the vBond. It's a simple VH router. Okay, I'm repeating. Means in Cisco SDWAN fabric, vBond image is equal to your VH router image. Okay, but in this image, you have to use a special, right? A special command so that it will become vBond. Make sense? That means the device I'm using as a vBond, This is not a vBond, this is just a VH router, but I will put some special command so it will converted from VH to vBond. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear? Just let me know, yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Let me do that. So what I'll do very first thing, I'll just change the host name. So to just avoid the confusion, I'll go in the config and I'll just go and system and change the host name, and the host name is going to be my vBond. Just this is the host name. Still, it is not converted as a vBond. So I will convert later. Okay, I'll show you some error and then I'll convert later this vBond. So just name has been changed. Now, very first thing I will go, if you just want to see the running configuration of this particular device. So this is a VPN 0 configuration by default. Okay. And on the same interface, you can see my switch is connected. So I need to configure this interface so that it can talk to my switch and also my vManage. So what I can do, I will go in my config, VPN 0 interface. This is G0 by 0 and IP address 123.10.10.11 and /24, and I'll put no shut. And here I'll make again, this is a tunnel interface, allow services all. This is just command I will run and I'll put commit. That's it. And if I go here and if you just run show run VPN 0 configuration, this configuration is there and you just ping your switch. It is reachable. If you go and ping the vManage, it should be also pingable. So now my vBond start reaching to my vManage as well and switch as well. So this connectivity is fine. This connectivity is fine. Now it's time for the vSmart. So I'll go and log in my vSmart as well. So again, the process is going to be same. Admin, admin. Again, I'll put the password enter as admin. And here is my smart configuration. This is the validator. So I'll go again in the VPN 0 and I will use the interface. This is the ETH0. And I'll assign the IP address 123.10.10.12/24. Where IP is there, in topology, you are going to get all IP address. See, this is the IP address. So I will make no shut. I will again make tunnel interface, allow services, all, and commit. That's all. Now from here, you try to ping your gateway switch. It is reachable. Now try to ping vManage, should be reachable. And the smart, it should be also reachable. So now this is also okay. Now it's time for the root CA. Root CA is nothing. It's just a normal Cisco router, but will convert as a root CA who can issue our certificate. Okay. What we discussed, root CA is very important. Without this root CA, you cannot get any certificate. And without certificate, you cannot validate the devices when they want to talk. So the root CA is the first place of the whitelisting and authentication where we can just, log in. And by the way, if you want to do onboarding, right, directly from Cisco, so Cisco Smart account. So you just go here. We have the licensing. Let me log in. So probably your organizations, we just get the licensing now. So let me just show you. I will show you how real-time Cisco is going to be authenticated. So once you are the authorized partner, right? So see, this is the Gwinnett authorized partner for the Cisco. And if I have to upload my inventory, so I can just create my new tokens, I can do the smart licensing. So when I just purchase the devices and I have the software center in the smart licensing portal access, then in that case, this manual work can be avoided, right? So probably I will, because we got yesterday only this licensing portal access. So we are planning in next, probably whenever we have a session, instead of the manual, I will directly do the same way when organizations means the way organization do for their, real production environment devices onboarding. So for all VH are going to be licensed directly from the licensing server. So you don't have to do manual licensing. But here you are going to learn a lot of things. So we have the Cisco account portal. I'm here. Williams, you have any questions? So you just have to get your new tokens, you just register your devices, and then you can just, register everything, whatever you want to do that. Okay, so we'll discuss later about this. But for time being, we will do via the manual process where you're going to learn a lot. So I'll just go here, configure, and I'll just change the root CA. This is my root CA, and do show IP interface brief. And I'll go interface. What is my interface? That is Z0/0. And I will assign the IP address. That is 123.10.10.13. Yes. 255.255.255.0. And I will just put no shut and do right. That's it. So now you will see that we have the complete reachability. Show IP interface brief. And if I try to ping my gateway, the switch should be reachable. And after switch, if I just go to vmanage, should be reachable. vbond should be reachable. And vsmart also should be reachable. So now we have the entire reachability. Means what we have done, we just make the basic reachability between these all interfaces via the DC switch. Okay. Now it's time to do the certifications. Without certification, without authentication, they are not going to work. So how the certification is going to work? For certifications, you have to go. Let me, here is my root CA configuration. So I will go here and open my root CA configuration. So as I explained, root CA is a special enterprise root CA that is going to issue my certificate. So in this, you don't have to use your lot of brains, because this is not something you have to learn how the command is going to look like, why there's root CA PKI. You just think this is my root CA server. My router is going to act as a root CA server. In this root CA server, we are going to generate some RSA key. And based on that, we are going to generate some PKI certificate. Those certificates are going to install in my NVRAM, and the domain from where the certificate is going to issue, that is a root CA lab.local. It could be any organization name. Lab, instead of lab, you can put the GUINET, you can put your name, your company name, whatever you think. And this is the hashing, this is the database label, passwords, and the certificate granted. And then we have to make this router root CA as a TFTP server. So remotely, I can copy this certificate to the other devices. So let me first make this root CA configuration. I'll simply copy it. After copy, I'll just go here, configuration, and I'll just paste it. That's it. So my configuration is going to be generated for root CA with the exact same. You guys have to do the same thing. No other configuration, you have to do that. So you just have to do and just put enter. So your certificate is going to be generated. So your certificate server has been enabled. Now your job has been done. What else you have to do that? After this, you have to copy your certificate in NVRAM. So whatever certificate you generated, you have to copy this certificate in the NVRAM. So this certificate is going to be stored in the NVRAM. So I'll just copy it, enter. So this is going to be copy. After this, you have to make this root CA, means this router as a TFTP server. So I can remotely copy this certificate to this device, to this device, to this device, and other VH routers. So I will make TFTP server. TFTP server is just a file transfer server. so that remotely I can transfer my file. So that's why I will use this command and make as a TFTP server NBRAM and give the location where my certificate is going to be installed. So just go here and give the, and just make sure put the do write. This is the very important thing. If you're not going to write, it is going to lose all the configuration when device is going to reboot. Now, let me see where my certificate has been installed. So just run a command dir, or might be you just put dir and question mark. So you are going to get NVRAM detail. So just put NVRAM and then you put enter. So in NVRAM, you can see this is my certificate is installed. So if you want to see this, so you just run more and certificate name. Sorry, you just have to give the more and you have to give the location NVRAM. And then you have to give the certificate name, which we created, pki.ca. So this is a certificate you can see we created in my root CA. Now this certificate need to copy to all devices. So first we'll do for the controller and after that we'll do for the other devices. So how this is going to be happen? Let me follow step-by-step lab guide. So very first thing, once this is done, I'll configure this default route later. Why? Because I will tell the reason why this default route is important. I can do the configuration right now, but probably you are going to get better understanding when I'll do the later configuration for this particular device. Now, we have to copy this certificate from the root CM. So basically, you have to go Linux mode of the your vmanage. So for that, you have to go in the vshell. After going in a vshell, you have the command tftp -g -r, and you have to give the pki.ca, and then you have to give the your TFTP server name. The same thing it is written here, you can see. So you can just copy it from here or you can just type manually. The process is same. But when I run this command, probably how I can validate my certificate has been copied or not. So to validate what I can do that, I'll go here and I run the command debug TFTP packets. And another command I'll run a debug TFTP events. So once I'll run this command on this my root CA server, so somebody is going to copy my TFTP file remotely. So I'll get some logs here, right? So let me try to do that. Now I'll just done. So you can see there is nothing showing and my command has been run. But let me check something happen or not. You can see on the root CA, let me just put undebug all. On root CA, you can see there is a request come on the port 5421251. That is a socket ID and this is the process ID. And this is the host 123.10.10.10. Is it the right host? The answer is yes, this is the right host, because if you go and show run VPN 0, you are going to find, let me exit from here, show run VPN 0. This is the my file. This is my IP. So now my this requested for this particular file. So basically we just tried to copy this file. So it is showing this is a file, right? And this is NVRAM has been opened and the acknowledgement 3-way handshake completed and the file has been finished. That has been transferred. So based on that, my file has been completed and my server basically transfer the file from the server to the your machine. So let me just go here. Let me go in the vmanage. Now, once we have done, what we have to do that we have to install this certificate. So you just go here and there is a command request root search and install, and you have to give the same directly. So certificate is going to be installed. So I will just go here and install the certificate. Now your certificate has been installed. After installing the certificate, you have to go in the GUI and you have to generate a CSR, means whatever certificate you get from here, you just install it. Now, based on the certificate you receive from the root CA and based on your local property, you have to generate new certificate that is known as certificate signing request. And once you generate the new certificate signing request, this root CA is going to grant you the final certificate, which is going for the authentication, where they have the public and private key informations. So that's why my first place to get the certificate from the root CA that has been installed. The second step, my vManage is going to use their local property, local database, and the certificate received from the root CA, and they generate a new certificate for further validation, and then they will get the final certificate. So how they are going to get? For that, you have to go in the GUI mode. So for that, you have to go in the GUI mode. So let me go here. Settings. And you just go here, add it. And what is my organization name? You have to give your organization name is lab. How you can identify? This is your organization name. Whatever the root ca.lab.local. So this is your organization name. So you just have to use the lab. Even in the lab guide, you can go in to find that. Probably go here. See, this is the lab. So just go here and put lab. And this is the again lab and save. So this is done. Now it is asking what is my v1 detail. So you have to go and give the v1 IP address. That is 123.10.10.11. Save it. That is second step. Still my vBond is not real vBond. We have to convert that. Now, if you want to do any kind of notifications, that email notification, you can do that. Let's suppose you want to configure any email notification. So probably you have to give your SMTP server detail and all, but we don't have anything. So I ignore it, cancel. Now you just have to go and initiate, and you click here to build your certificate so that your root CA can just validate that certificate request and get the final certificate. So here there is a three options: Cisco automated, we have the semantic automated, manual, and enterprise root CA. So I will just select the enterprise root CA here, and based on that enterprise root CA, I have to put the certificate informations. So now how I can put the certificate information? The certificate I have is this certificate. Let me just open the certificate with a copy. So I need to go in the vShell again, and I just run more, and I put this file name. So I will just go here and put it here, file name. See, this is certificate. So if I want to try to direct copy and paste, it will not going to work, because this is the another PC, and under the PC we have this. So if I just try to copy and paste, it is not going to work. So how I can do that? Let me try to log in vManage directly on this particular PC. Let me try to see if I can log in. So I will go here and let me see if I can log in 192.168.10.1. Yeah, I can log in. Admin. So I can just skip my copy paste issue from the website. So here I can go and let me just make the little bit font bigger. So I'll go here, change, and I'll click OK. Okay, now, so what I can do, I'll go here and I'll go vShell again, and I'll just run the command more, and certificate is pki.ca. This is my certificate. I'll copy now from here, and after copy, just hold on. I'll copy the certificate from here. After copy, I'll go here and I'll paste it. Okay. So this has been pasted. Probably in lab guide, you have the different steps, right? For copy paste, you have to go in the email and all. But here I just pasted from the my direct login to the vManage from that particular PC with the same IP address, management IP address, and I pasted it. After that, you have to set the CSR property. And what is my domain? The domain is lab.local. So you have to put this domain. So I'll go here and put that lab.local. So my domain has been configured and our organization is lab again. CD I can put probably Delhi, state Delhi, email info, country IN, validity up to you. You can just give the validity up to 3 years. So this certificate is going to valid for 3 years. I'll just import it. So now this is done. So your certificate status has been imported. After getting done this certificate, what you have to do that you have to, right? You have to, this is just, it is showing like how to copy and paste the certificate from the, like your root CA. So you can follow this step as well, or you can might be you just follow what I have done the quicker way, just copy and paste from the vManage itself to the vManage by the CLI to GUI. Both way it is going to work is the same, right? Because the certificate are going to be same. Now, once we've done this step, we have to go and generate the CSR. Where we have to go? We just have to go again here, certificate, means the configuration, certificate. And after that, you have to go in the controller, and this is my certificate. And now here is option, generate CSR. So now click generate CSR. So you are going to get the certificate signing request. So now you need to sign this certificate from your root CA. So how it is going to happen? So again, you have to copy the certificate and you have to paste it in your root CA, but you cannot directly copy and paste from here. If I go here, you cannot paste it. So basically, let me just do that. CSR is there. So you have to go on root CA and you have to run this command. Let me go here first. So I'll go my root CA. I will run this command. Once I have done, see it is asking for certificate. So what you have to do here, very special note. If you try to direct copy paste certificate, it is not going to work. It will throw an error. So you just use Control Alt Shift together. Control Alt Shift. Then this window is going to open. Just use the text input. Then you can see below we have this small window has been opened. This one, right? So under this window, you have to copy the CSR file which you just generated in the vManage. Okay. So how now we can copy and paste this one? This is again challenge. So let me just copy it. And after copy, we cannot paste it. So what I can do that, let me try to log in my root CA directly here. If I can log in. 123.10.10.13. I don't think I can log in. Let me do one thing. Just hold on. And let me go in the configuration. Username, Cisco privilege 15, password, Cisco line VTY 04, login local. Let me try transport input all, transport output all. Just I wanted to check if I can do the SSH from the PC. So I don't have to open email and all. So let me try one more time. Sorry. New session. I believe I cannot log in, but let me try. No. So what I can do, instead of going here, I can just SSH from here, from vManage SSH, or let me go in the vShell itself. SSH Cisco @123.10.10.13. See, it is prompting. I can log in. So I'll just put the password. Cisco, and I'm in the root CA now. So what I have to do that, I will just copy and paste the command. Which command? This command. Let me just crypto PKI. So let me go here. Crypto PKI and server PKI request. Server PKI request PKCS10, and I need to put terminal. Okay, now I have to copy this certificate. Which certificate? This one. So I'll just copy from here. I'll just copy the certificate and I'll paste directly here. See, it has been pasted now. So because I'm in the putty session, so I can easily paste it from here. So I have done. You just have to hit quit. And after that, you are going to get a granted certificate. So now your certificate is there, granted certificate. So once you have the granted certificate, you can paste this certificate and install to make sure your vManage has been full certified. So I'll just copy it from here. I'll copy it from here carefully. Don't leave any dot blank. Go here again and install this certificate. Just paste it from here and you just install it. So now this is the final step where my vManage is going to be fully validated if there is no issue. See, this has been successful. Now if I go in the certificate controller, see, this is my vManage, this certificate serial number. And if I go in the main dashboard, you will find that my invalid warning has been gone. So right now my vManage has been fully validated. Makes sense, guys? So my vManage has been fully validated. There is no issue at all because I just done the complete certification process. Any doubt anyone have till here? Any guys?
Nope.
All good? Shall I move next? Okay, so now let me work with another controller. That is my vBond or might be the vSmart. Let me do first. Okay, so first for the smart. So again, I have to go in the smart and again, I have to copy the certificate because I have the reachability till my root CA. So I need to copy the certificate here. So how can I copy? I go in the vShell. And after going again, I have to go tftp -g -r pki.ca and you have to give this IP and your certificate. Now you can just check ls -l. It's Richard, you can mute yourself. More. And here you just put this, you have the certificate in the your vSmart. Now you have to generate the CSR and then you have to get this signed by the root CA for the final certificate. So how I can do that? I'll go here. I'll go in the device controller and we just have the vManage controller. So you just have to go configuration device controller and you have to add the controller. This time I'm going to add the vSmart. So what is my vSmart IP address? 123.10.10.11. Username is the admin. Password is the admin. Here we have the options. You want to select a TLS or DTLS. So I will just use the DTLS and generate CSR is already added here. So I'll just, oh, sorry. This is my not vSmart. vSmart is 12. So let me just add it. That is a VH. So now you have the vSmart. Now what I have to do that? You have to just go in the certificate and go in the controller and you have this vSmart. So now you just go and generate the certificate again. So now certificate has been generated. What you have to do that? You have to go and get this sign by the root CA. So how you can do that? You again go and run this command. this one. So you just go here and put it. Now you just copy this. Paste it. And you just put it quit. Once you're done, this is your granted certificate. Now you copy this granted certificate carefully. Till this and go here. Close it. Make sure your vSmart is yellow highlighted. And then you install the certificate. And put Control V and install it. Now this certificate is also installed, but still you are not, certificate is showing okay. See, controller certificate are showing for the both devices, but still you're not able to see site ID, host name and system IP. Still you're not able to see. And this device is not visible on the dashboard also. You can see this device is not visible. So we'll see how it is going to be visible. Now the third step, you have to go and add for the device, that is a vBond. So you have to go in the controller. Now you have to add the vBond. And here is the catch is going to vBond IP is the 11, you can see. But when you try to log in, by default, which port it is going to use the vBond? Naushad, vBond is going to use which port? TLS or DTLS? Naushad Khan, which port it is going to use? TLS or DTLS?
DTLS.
Okay, very good. So this is going to your DTLS. There is no option because default port. So if I try to add, you can see this is going to throw an error. The device you are trying to add is the VS device. You cannot add as a controller. So as I mentioned, vBond by default going to use the image. That is my VS image. So you cannot convert this, means you cannot add this device in the controller until you can convert it in the VS to vBond. So how we can convert? There is a single line command you have to use here. Let me first copy the certificate. Then I'll just go in the vShell and just first copy the certificate. TFTP -G-R pki.ca. And I'll just copy the certificate first. So this has been done. The certificate has been copied. Now I will install this certificate on both of the devices. I forgot to install. So let me install for this one. I'll use the command. This command, I will install this certificate. Let me go here. This is done. I need to install in the smart as well. I forgot that. Okay, so now you can see this has been done. Now you have to go in the configuration and you have to convert this VS to vBond. So go in the system and there is single line command vBond. And what is the vBond IP address? The IP address vBond is 123.10.10.11. So we just put this IP address. And after that, you have to use the keyword as a local. The moment you put a local keyword, that device has been identified as the vBond device. Okay, and make the commit. That's it. Now, if I go again, try to add it, it will not going to show error. It will going to bad. See, this has been added. So now vBond is there. Just go in certificate, controller, and this is the vBond, generate the CSR. Now CSR has been generated. Get this signed by the root CA. How you can sign? Just go and use the same command again.
Actually, in the real time also, in the real time environment also, it will be same like this.
Yes. If real time environment, if you have this portal, right, you don't have to do this all things. Automatic licensing is going to be happen. So real time, you have the Cisco Smart Portal, but when you are going to use your enterprise root CA, you have to do the manual certification always for all devices. Okay, Manoj?
No, I didn't get. Like, later now we are going for this SD1 things. Okay. and maybe it is a new type environment or maybe existing environment. Any type of device onboarding or installing the edge device or what we call connecting the device into the fabric, we have to configure the this certificate for validation.
See, there is any device you are going to onboard, either the new or existing. Certification is always required. Now, certification have two type. One is the automatic certification part, one is the manual certification part. If you're going to do the automatic certification part, you don't have to do that much all the steps. It is going to happen automatically in backend. You don't have to realize what is happening. So that option is always going to be happen when you're going to do and purchase the Cisco devices and you want to do either licensing via the Cisco smart controllers, means the Cisco smart account. So that time you don't have to do manual. But if you're going to use the root CA enterprise, your own root CA on certificate for the advanced security, then you have to do this process for the every devices.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay, understood.
Okay. So now again, I have done the certificate for my this device. So I will just copy the certificate and I will go and install for the my vBond. So I will go and install this vBond. I will install it. Now this is also done. But I have done the certifications and all controller are showing here, but none of the controller have the host name, system IP, site ID. Only they have certificate number, device ID, device IP and all. So this is also not showing on the my dashboard. So whenever you want to do this all configuration, very minimum configuration to onboard the devices on the fabric, that is the 5 tuples configuration you have to do that. So what is a 5 tuple configuration? That is known as the system config. And this system config have the 5 tuples that you have to configure as a minimum configuration to onboard devices on the fabric. That is the first thing you have to configure as a system IP. The second thing you have to configure as the host name. Third thing you have to configure as the site ID. Fourth thing you have to configure as the organization name. And fifth is your vBond IP or FQDN. So these minimum 5 parameters you have to configure for the every devices. These 5 parameters you have to configure for every device. That's why it's known as the 5 tuples config for the system. So you have to do that. So basically you have to go for the every controller, even on the vManage, you have to go and complete this configuration. vSmart, go and complete this. vBond, go and complete that. Then it is going to be on your fabric. Make sense? Shall I do that? And you understand what is a 5 tuple minimum configuration, guys? So let me go first, vManage. So I'll exit from here and I'll go here the vManage. The very first name, host name. So you have to go in the system and host name. That is a vManage. Site ID, you can see this is the controller. So site ID is 100. So I'll go and give the 100. Organization name, lab. System IP is 10.123.10.10. You can find this name. This is system IP 10.123.10.10, right? What is the last name? You have to give the vBond IP. So that is 123.10.10.11. And if you want to run show configuration, this is the like some parameter already configured because we configured GUI, so not showing, but yes, all is going to be configured. So now if you want to run the show run system configuration, this is your system configuration. They have the all 5 tuple information. first, second, third, 4 and 5th. Now you have to go and vBond also you have to do that. So config T, system, host name, vBond already we done, but let me reconfigure. Site system IP 10.123.10.11, site ID hundreds, organization name lab, or vBond 123.10.10.11, and you have to make sure it's local, right? And commit. This is also done. Now your root C assist be smart. So you just have to go to the configuration, system configuration, site ID 100, organization name lab, right? Host name v smart, right? vBond you have to give 123.10.10.11, system IP 10.123.10.12, and if you just want to show config, and you just commit it. Now you've done the system configurations for all devices. The moment you will do that, you will find your vBond is on live. Say it's there. After some time, probably you're going to find your vSmart is also going to be online. Just wait for a while, because they have to build the now control connections. See, so now you are having the vSmart, you having the vBond, and you have the vManage. There is no warning and invalidations. So your controllers are successfully onboarded. Okay, so what you can do, you just go here, certificate, and you want to go in controller, you want to see if you want to register all the controller to the vBond, so you just send to the vBond, so they will authenticate each other without any problem. So you can see vBond just sync the database by doing this particular push. So you can do it manually from here. So after some time, they are just going to complete their all informations. So now here go in certificate, controller. These certificates have the host name. You can see there are the system IP, expiry certificate date. You can see there are the UID, installation update, vBond updated, site ID, certificate serial number. This is the device ID. So all information you are seeing in your vBond, right? And you go in the device again here and go in the controller. Here also you can see that the host name, system IP, site ID, mode is a CLI. So I'll explain what is a CLI, and the certificate has been installed. Any question till now? Anyone have in your mind?
Sir, in real world also we convert normal router to V1.
Yes, because there is no separate image. You have to use the same image even in the real world as well. You have to download from Cisco portal and you have to convert the VH image as a vBond. That's the mandatory step. Make sense? Now let me do some validation. If I go in my vManage and if I run the command show control connections, let me see. Are you guys able to see the control connections? Let me make a little bit smaller. See? So we have the control connection with the vSmart, that is DTLS. We have the vBond as well. And why it's a 000? Because it's a temporary connection. It is going to flush out after some time. So that's why it's a 0.0, multiple connection builded, but it's a normal, right? But technically you always going to stay one control connection with the vSmart. Make sense? If you go in the vSmart also, and you just want to see the control connections, show control connections, you able to find you have the control connection with the vBond and the vManage, because this is the V. So again, you can see vBond have the all temporary connections. But if you go in the vBond, there is no outbound connections are going to be found, because this is the vBond. vBond you can reach, but vBond is not going to reach to anyone. So there is no control connections. So always remember, vSmart is going to build a connection with the vBond. vManage is going to build a connection with the vBond. vManage is going to build a connection with the vSmart. vSmart is going to build a connection with the vManage, but vBond is not going to build a connection with anyone. Okay. So now you have the control connections as well. So I believe we are good for today because we just did the onboarding process. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please ask, or might be we can continue tomorrow from here. Please let me know because we
Sir,
have, yes.
sorry. In the settings, you showed like Cisco automatically configures, and there was one more thing like manual. What is that?
We done the manual only, not automated. We did the manual process only. There was no automated because if I have to use the automated, so we basically done via the routes here, not manual. Let me show you. This is the
Enterprise.
Yeah, enterprise route. So if you go for the manual, so this is going to use your manual certification process. You have to save it manually. So you just build the manual certificate. You have to download and you have to upload the devices. So there is the recommended is Cisco automated. You can see this is the recommended. So if you are going to use recommended one, everything is going to be just sync up with your smart account.
In my organization, it was showing like manual, so I was a little bit checking what was that.
So manual, but they have just used the manual certificate for the installation for the all devices, right? So you can see even there is no enterprise, so they just manually upload the certificate and install for the all controllers and the all devices. That's why it's a manual. So you have to do manual CLI based, certificate insertions for the all devices and installation. Then it is going to be validated to each other.
Okay.
Okay, so
Sir, I have the one question.
Yeah, please ask.
So in the case of manual, we upload the certificate, the signed certificate to all the controllers. So who will validate to these certificates, sir? Because we did not have the enterprise CA.
So basically, see, enterprise CA is something you going to build your own certificate.
Right.
There is another certificate that is you're going to purchase the certificate from the certificate authority.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to just like you can see any website, Cisco, right? This is using a certificate. You just go there. So this is something each enterprise root CA who issue the certificate. Like you see, Hydrant ID server CA. So you go any website, you're going to find the issuer name. So they will give the final certificate. You just have to install those certificate on the devices. So they have the public private key. They are able to validate to each other. That's the manual process.
Okay.
Any other questions anyone have?
So one more thing, in my organization, we manage these controllers all are in premises, and they are working on Azure environment. Azure, they are put like north and south, one at one smart at north and one vSmart at vBond at north, like that. So here we are reaching this via MPLS and all. There also we got MPLS, EPL, and internet. Here in our lab we are going and reaching, but how it is possible for an LAN segment go and reach in the Azure environment?
You have to bring connectivity. So Azure is like a data center. It's not like something is a cloud. This is the Azure, right? So let's suppose this is the Azure DC, right? So your organizations must have some express route connectivity or normal connectivity via the MPLS or
Express.
internet.
Yeah, they got express routes.
Express route, right? So they have the express route connectivity. And via the internet, this is your branch locations, your organizations, right? So here your SD-WAN router is there. So your controller are going to host like vManage here, vSmart here, vBond here. So what is the first requirement? You have to your devices must be reachable to the controller. First, they are going to reach each other under the same VNet because there's the Azure, so they have the virtual network within the Azure. So they are going to build the internal networking like what we have built in our environment. Then these controller IP must be reachable to the your SD-WAN routers. So what there is a certification. So manual certificate is there. So you get the root CA certificate from your third-party vendors that is installed in your router. That is the very first thing. Second thing, once your certificate has been installed, they are going to mutually authenticate each other without any problem. So what is going to require very first thing, that is a underlay reachability. Once they have the underlay reachability, mean this SD-WAN router able to reach, then it will form the overlay like IPsec tunnel, not IPsec, DTLS and TLS connections. And then after they're going to communicate. Same process. This is also Azure, you can think, because we are also in the cloud. Same process we are doing. Just replace this device, this box as Azure. Same process is happening here also. You have to be, your circuits must be connected to the Azure switch or Azure virtual gateway. Then they are going to make the reachability to your branches. Okay, Mathan? Or
Okay,
not
sir.
understand?
I got it.
Okay. All right. So let's connect tomorrow. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Take care.